Gentlemen, we do have a major 2024 update here. JD Vance, the U.S. Senator from Ohio, officially Donald Trump's VP. If you've been reading the tea leaves, probably not that surprising considering heading into yesterday, especially after the assassination attempt. I know they've come out and said Trump was already going to pick Vance, but still, if you're Trump and you're sitting there and you just dealt with that, you were so close to dying. I mean, Burgum's got to be eliminated. That's what I said immediately because, like, Burgum running the whole MAGA movement, it's not going to happen. Now Trump installs a young gun who's possibly going to be the favorite in 2028 if he's got MAGA support. I'm going to talk about 2028 in a second, but in terms of 2024 potentially helping Trump, I think Trump viewed right now his candidacy and what's going on with the election and his campaign as maybe having a lot of leeway with Trump up in basically every swing state. Obviously, it's not a guarantee of anything. But right now it's looking very good for Trump. That's why liberals are lashing out. I mean, how many things have we seen on Twitter where it's like, or excuse me, X, where people are getting exposed for like, they're like, yeah, I wanted Trump to die. It's terrible. And Trump, the most epic thing ever. I mean, how badass is it? And this is not even me trying to simp for Trump. I mean, literally the dude had got his ear shot off and the blood is streaming down his face and he gives the signature fist pump. I mean, you really can't lose with something like that. And we're not saying it's guaranteed, but I'm just saying I think Trump had more leeway to maybe go with someone that's, you know, maybe not as appealing as some people would like in terms of strategizing to get independent voters like a Tulsi Gabbard, someone like that. I know a lot of people wanted Vivek, but Trump chooses Vance. Vance is not necessarily a Trump 2.0 like Vivek is. Vivek obviously a lot more aggressive, a lot more radical views in terms of really changing things. But Vance, certainly a former lawyer, kind of has a weird backstory in terms of being an anti-Trump guy. You look at him, I'm surprised, but 2016, he didn't even vote for Trump. I'm sure everybody, that's a big story going around, everyone knows it, but I'm just summarizing. But now Vance in 2024, I think Trump views it as if something happens to him, God forbid, but you have to wonder, Vance is someone who's not like a Rubio, and I've got nothing against Rubio, but I'm just saying he's not going to get walked all over by the media. Vance is going to stand his ground and try and advance the MAGA movement if something happens to Trump. That's what I think Trump was viewing this as. Now, maybe Trump wanted like someone in the middle in terms of you obviously want someone that's going to advance your movement, and Vivek would be a 10 in that, but you also want someone that's going to help you possibly with moderates, maybe in the Rust Belt, because Vance is from Ohio. Vance is going to help you with that. And then you also got someone like Tulsi Gabbard, who's certainly going to help you with independence, but maybe Vance is the one in the middle. You get maybe the best of both worlds where he is a MAGA 2.0, but he also might be able to help you in terms of winning the Rust Belt. I don't think it's really going to change a lot in terms of that. This could have just been Trump trying to make sure his legacy is preserved if something happens to him. Vance is certainly a pit bull. He's going to go hard. And being a former lawyer, he articulates himself very well, possibly facing Kamala in that debate. Not that it matters too much. I would imagine they're going to stick with Biden right now. They just got so demoralized, the Democrats did, when Trump survived that assassination attempt. That's why they all lashed out, and they're just completely losing it. They're about a bunch of 5-year-old kids, some of these liberal supporters, because like it's the most badass thing you ever see, and their entire narrative falls to pieces after one rally on a Saturday. Donald Trump doesn't sacrifice anything. He gets his ear blown off and survives. So it is amazing. But either way, I'm not that surprised that it is Vance. I really don't think Vance is going to move something like in terms of helping with independence. Maybe a few, but it's more of a Trump likes where he's at in terms of the race. And he also, it's not like Vance is a total pushover like a Burgum or someone like that. Even someone like Ben Carson, would Trump really trust Carson, or a Tim Scott if you're trying to go for the black vote? This is trying to do the best of both worlds. He's not crazy Trump 2.0 like Vivek. Although I think if you're going to choose Vance, why not just choose Vivek? Although he does have some more radical things that might hurt with independence. I get it. But it does kind of seem like another interesting thing to talk about would be the 2028 situation. This is huge for Vance, as young as he is, possibly getting the MAGA base. If things go well, Trump wins in 2024, and then Trump possibly endorses Vance because, I mean, he's basically endorsed him right now. He's choosing him to be his VP. It was a big race for the VP. Everyone was gunning for it. You're going to have Vance versus Vivek versus DeSantis versus Youngkin in 2028. I know Youngkin was another one that possibly was gunning for the VP spot. It didn't happen. So 2028 is going to be very interesting. We'll see who MAGA supports. Obviously, Trump's word is going to be the most important in terms of that, considering Trump basically controls the party right now. You'd have to say Vance certainly the favorite in 2028, at least in the primaries, but that is going to be a big-time primary if everyone actually runs. You could argue, well, it's just going to be, Vance for sure. But when it comes to VPs, I don't think it should be a token thing like because Vance is the VP, he should automatically be the nominee in 2028. I don't believe that at all. I think at this point, you got to have it wide open. And there's just so many candidates within the Republican field, people that I probably am not even mentioning right now that could potentially be there in 2028. So there is that situation. Another big situation, RFK Jr. in Milwaukee. Possibly, according to sources, he sat down with Trump for like 2 hours. So, right now, Trump did say that RFK needs more security, and it seems like there's a very cordial relationship there. Could we see RFK realizing how ridiculous the Democrats are at this point with their party and them endorsing and a lot of their supporters angry that Trump was not killed? Could we see RFK endorsing Trump, taking his name off, and then Trump possibly getting 2 or 3% more? That's something that could happen, and you don't want to say it would seal a Trump victory, but it's just more amazing news if it does happen, because RFK, we know with the way it works right now in the United States, also just his voice really prevents him from doing much, but it's a two-party system. It's partisan. As an independent right now, it's just not going to happen. Maybe in the future it gets changed, but that's just the reality, the world we live in. So if you're RFK, you have to think, imagine I get enough votes. I don't think this is going to happen, but imagine RFK in the Rust Belt steals votes from Trump and helps Biden. He's not going to want that legacy. So could RFK just say, screw this, I'm dropping out. The Democrats have gotten so crazy. I'm just going to endorse Trump. I know I can't win. That could potentially be a thing. It was reported that RFK's campaign funds were drying up. That was from a while ago, though. I don't want to necessarily say that that's happening right now, but this is interesting that they're meeting. It is certainly a development. And then we do also have, this just gets worse and worse and worse. Breaking news, Trump's shooter's rooftop building was staging area for local police tactical team doing Overwatch of crowd. They referenced Overwatch. What does Overwatch mean? It means you get on the roof and this is exactly what I was saying. Oh my God. That roof is like the prime spot to potentially, if you are a sniper, it's the literal number one spot if you're a sniper to try and take down Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania at that specific rally. So the fact that it's a staging area, just imagine this. Think about this. Because there were presumably police officers in that building, it was a staging room or whatever. Imagine the gunman is crawling on top of the roof, and under it, it's a bunch of police. Now, I don't know, maybe they were out doing, patrol. Honestly, they probably weren't considering what happened, but that's just a crazy thing to think about. And you're saying shooter's rooftop building was a stage. They're doing Overwatch. What does that mean? It means get on the roof and look at the crowd. And that's what I said. You would be more concerned, way more concerned about some shooter blending into the crowd than the rooftop, because you should literally be on the rooftop looking over to get a better view. So this doesn't make any sense. It just gets worse and worse and worse. We've also got the RNC kicking off. That's obviously Trump making his announcement right at the start of it. It's in Milwaukee, the Pfizer Forum, brand new arena, home of the Milwaukee Bucks. Protests are chanting, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Oh, I remember that chant from 2016. We need a more creative one. We've got some Palestine flags. There you go. Maybe some gay pride stuff. Maybe a USSR flag. Could we get a Soviet flag? I don't see one. It's like, where's Waldo with liberals? Where's the Soviet flag? Where's the Palestine? Where's the gay pride? That's the where's Waldo holy trinity of the liberal flags that we need to find. But there is that as well. We've also got Secret Service. This is ridiculous. This is from yesterday, blaming local law enforcement for failing to secure the rooftop where the gunman attempted to kill. See, I don't know why they block out gunmen. Does it have to do with their revenue or something? I don't understand. Why is that something that needs to be censored with an asterisk? Insisting that the rooftop was outside the perimeter. They're saying the rooftop was outside the perimeter. It was a 150-yard shot. It's just not adding up. So I did want to talk about this. JD Vance officially going to be Trump's running mate. I think maybe, again, Trump is thinking best of both worlds. He's not crazy polarizing like Vivek, where Vivek obviously has a lot of ideas that maybe independents aren't going to fully go for. You also do have the, semi issues with Project 2025. I really don't even know if it is an issue, but obviously that would be ramped up, the whole narrative with Vivek in that, oh, they're going to do all this stuff. They're going to totally restructure the government, even though every administration has these huge ideas. That's what you do. I mean, the Heritage Foundation, they've been doing this for like over 20 years now in terms of trying to get a wish list together. So there's history, and liberals aren't saying that. It's like this big, regime that's going to come in and create fascism in the United States. It's totally ridiculous. So what I would say is Vance is not as polarizing as Vivek, but he's also not as weak as a Rubio or Burgum. And I'm not even sure Rubio's that weak, but Vance is certainly harder than him. He's going to play hardball. And so that's the happy medium for Trump would be someone like Vance, who's also young, lawyer, articulates himself well. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to help Trump. I don't think he needs it. If Trump was down by 5 or 6, you look at a Tulsi Gabbard, although I can't really see I can't envision a scenario where Trump would be down based on how bad Biden has been. But maybe if it was tied, he would go a different route. But originally, it was the idea of Burgum. It was basically a Mike Pence 2.0. Obviously, Burgum's different. It's not evangelical. It's more so money. But Burgum is like I said it was kind of a dud of a pick. And it seemed like he got off of him like a few weeks ago. And then it became Vance. We were looking at possibly Ben Carson moving up and then a few others. But it is JD Vance, the official choice for VP for Donald Trump here in 2024. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.